Yeah, so how y'all feeling about the series so far? I know Destiny. You said you behind at least like an episode or two, and I know Silva's caught up. But how you feeling about it right now, Destiny?
Um, I I like I'm like in the middle with this thing because I enjoy it and I'm enjoying it because it's about something that's very interesting to me, but at the same time I really just despise shows that I feel like just be too much. Like it's like the several eight of the lithography in the lost, but it's like, bro, can we speak English, please? It just be a lot of
Well, they dropped
phrases and
those on Friday, bro.
what'd you say?
They dropped those on Friday. The
What did
English
they drop
dub.
on Friday?
The English
Oh,
dub. You said the
I don't
speaking. I'm messing
I
with you, bro.
yeah, listen, in English it's not in English because they're using so many terms that are like these specific terms, and you're just like, bro. And the crazy thing is, even if you learn the terms, it's just like they just continuously keep section 8 of the spring. I'm like, bro. So I'm both. And the fight scene was crazy that I saw when they were fighting the big like meat monster thing. It was
Mm.
cool.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm like, you know, I'm with both.
yeah.
I like
Now
I like
sometimes
summary.
sometimes it does get kind of hard to follow because you get stuff like the Book of Antigonus in the fourth epoch and the pathways with the with all of that stuff. So now that's why I went back and watched the first two episodes in English because I know there's stuff that I'm missing just because of the speed that the subtitles go to keep up with the speed of the Chinese language. Right? How you feeling about Silva?
And like it's so funny because I talk crap about like the whole Lord of the Mysteries and people comprehension, but I to myself have to rewatch every fucking episode because it is a very intense and informative show. And you're right, Destiny. Like rewatching in English, even in English, I learn a lot more, and I'm still confused. But I think that that's the purpose of the show to a certain extent, and I get it. It's like that might not like they could have done a little bit better explanation. I've seen some people say that like they're kind of going back and forth between chapters to connect things. Like it's not being told in the same way that Donwa is, but maybe there's a disconnect there. But I love the show. I think it Gotcha, Kuda, Clevitus, and Lord of the Mysteries are my top three. And on a weekly basis, I'm trying to figure out which one I like the most. Most of the time, it's Lord of the Mysteries for me, but I love fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy novels. So that's like the premise of why I love it because there's so much depth. And you do get that in anime, but not as much as they used to have it. So having this in Lord of the Mysteries is kind of nostalgic for me because it really does feel like a one piece of sorts to a certain extent. Like, but they just kind of drop you into the middle of it, and it's like, hey, figure this out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about it too. Is that it gets straight to the world building of it all, and I really like the fact that we're learning about the overall world and the story as Klein is learning about it as well. So we don't really learn too much that he doesn't know. And then like you said, Silva, they're bunching events together so they're not bouncing all around because in the light novel, something might happen on chapter 2 but doesn't complete until chapter 10, but in between there's other events going on. So to keep it less confusing. They put
Less
it.
confusing, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because
Yeah.
the last episode was very confusing to me. It was the first time that I watched it, like because like Klein, even the episode before it, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like there's certain times where it's just like, well, how the hell did we get there? Like, what did we do so that Klein could be in the situation? And like I can't speak about it because you're about to get to those two episodes
I do
where
not care about. But I got to give you
okay.
my backstory, because he knows, because we talk about it all the time. I I encourage and support spoiling because it's stupid and it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as spoiling in anime. I feel I have created a new word. It's called flattening. You can flatten stuff because spoiling goes for milk, right? And if milk is spoiled, you can't drink it, right? But we still drink the anime. Like if you tell me something right now, I'm still gonna drink it, right? Pause. So it may be diminished like soda. It's flattened, but I'm still gonna fucking, you know what I'm
You
saying?
still going to drink it at midnight when you wake
I,
up.
I
Exactly. You
agree
know what
to
I'm
a certain
saying?
extent. I think that with this show specifically, especially a show that like it's all about the mysteries you're trying to find out, I do
Mhm.
think there's spoiler elements because
I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it,
Well, the
man.
thing is,
well,
really, the thing is, even with this like last episode, there's you can talk about it, but there's still so much stuff that hasn't been uncovered yet that you really
that's the
can't
thing. We could talk
spoil
about
it.
it, and he still wouldn't know what the fuck we talking about because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like for instance, like the whole thing with his teacher. It's like it wasn't until people came into my comments on my last video that like I fully understand what the fuck was going on with his power. And it's like that's the other thing with this world is like the scaling is so global that it's like I'm so interested to find out where the client's gonna go because like we've seen so many different degrees of power, and it's like he's only at the bottom. So that's why I'm so drawn to this. It's like he's at the bottom and he's still like aura farming. He's like cooking the other characters in the tarot card. Like when he was telling the one person, like, "Yo, you tell him what." Like he was like, "Yo, you tell her what she has to do," and like he played them to kind of, even though he didn't know what to do, he kind of used them to figure it out. Like I like that aspect of the show. Like he's kind of playing everybody like he's the major player of the game in a sense.
Can we talk about the art style? Because to me, that's like the biggest thing. I really like the art style. I
Yeah,
also gotta like, I gotta say, having in the English dub Weiss as the voice actor for
Ian Sinclair, yeah, yeah,
that really got me too. I was like,
I
oh,
love him.
Weiss.
He's
I was like,
he's
Weiss.
dope.
oh, the what? He's the voice
He's
of
Klein,
Rose,
right?
Moretti,
Yeah.
of Klein. I didn't know that. I
no,
didn't know
not
that because
Klein,
in
the Rose guy.
Oh,
the
that's
Rose guy.
Red. I thought he was.
What
Yeah,
the
Oh,
guy
you're
with
right.
the guy with the long hair? Isn't that the Rose guy? The guy with the long
Yeah,
hair?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I forgot what his
okay.
so
name
that's
is.
it's
He
Weiss. I
that's
was like,
crazy
oh,
because he plays a big role in the last episode too. I can't even think of his name right now.
oh, he's my
Uh,
favorite character right now. Between him and Klein, like I like bro. And see, to me, my favorite part of what I've seen so far was the scene with the doll where they were supposed to be locked in, like, and then he got out of it, and then how that turned around, and stuff like that is what I like of kind of like the OP-ness of certain characters where you're just like you're not supposed to be that strong because I don't know his name, the Rose dude, but like he
Yeah,
also
I'm
wasn't
blanking.
affected. What's his
his
name?
Yeah.
name's Leonard. His name's Leonard.
Yeah,
Mm.
Leonard wasn't affected. Am I bugging? Leonard wasn't.
No, you're right. He was, or like he broke it just like
He
Klein
couldn't
did to a
move.
certain. Yeah,
Yeah,
he moved his
yeah,
eyes, and
Yeah,
that's what
so
he
he
told
just
him. Like,
sat there
yo,
because he wanted to see what bro was gonna do. He wanted to see if he was gonna take the deal,
yeah, yeah. Because he was not under effect of it. He knew Klein could move, so it was just
and he
him, the
flexed it.
clown, and Klein.
He
And
flexed it
yeah,
at the end when he said people like us.
yeah,
and he does that
I,
again in a later episode. And
oh yeah,
the one
I
thing I
like
like is that like Klein's not over here doing magic, like he's doing divination, and like he has to do this ritual stuff. Like in order for him to be powerful, he has to set certain things up. So like I like that it's not the typical, oh, I just incantate or something. Like no, he needs specific materials to get something off sometimes, and it's like when have we seen something like that? When have we seen a character who has ritual magic? Like that was another aspect that like every different pathway has to go through very specific things in order for them to use their powers. And like I just really like how deep it is and how much there's to learn. You know what I'm saying? But I also agree, like, it's kind of hard for you to latch on to something when there's so much like that they're just throwing at you. And I haven't felt that until like the last episode where I'm like, damn, like when I saw what his teacher could do, I was like, my understanding of this series was turned upside down after the last episode.
yeah, yeah. I would say that too. Now to go back to what Destiny had said about how he was like people like us. Do you think he's a transmigrator? Do you think he got put into the world like Klein did? Do you think he's from a different like Earth or something like that and got sent to that world? Do you think that's what like he knows there's some type of that's why he think like there's some type of connection? Because in the last
Well,
episode he brought something up like they're intertwined in some type of way. He didn't really go into the details of it, but he was like, we're intertwined and I don't know why. So that's like if he like something happened with him to somebody
but didn't they
transmigrating
say
him.
Roselle might have been transmigrated? Like the big king that they keep referring back to,
Yeah,
like he
he
might
he
have been
was.
the one. He was, right? And he created the
Yeah, he
steam
was because
engine
he
and
was
helped them
writing.
the
Huh?
diary. Like he
Oh
wrote the
yeah,
diary, right?
yeah. Not the one that they're studying, not the Antiguous one, but there's another one that he wrote that's in. I think they said simple Chinese.
And
He
that's why
wrote
he
it in
could read it.
simple Chinese. Yeah, yeah. So Klein was reading it, and he was getting an understanding of something about like you can't just digest the potion. You actually have to act on it, type of ordeal to get the full power out of it, to level up your actual ability, type of thing. Now, how are y'all feeling about the actual power system ordeal, where it's they got the nine pathways and then the 22 sequences. The
Well, it's the
clown is the
reverse.
next step
It's the
for the
22
series.
pathways and 9 sequences.
Is it?
I don't think majority
Yeah.
of people fucking and recognize or know anything about any of that shit. So I think to me it was interesting to like see it when they started like talking about it. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess there's like levels of this shit or whatever. But to me, it I would think to the majority of people it feels just like Clever Test, where it's like people just doing shit. Like it don't feel like it's grounded in a system. Yet I would say to majority of people, that's just my like opinion. I would think that majority of people probably don't even see that there's a system. They just like, hey, he got that power, he got that, he got that, and that's how it seemed to me until I just saw them talk about it. But because I don't understand it yet, it still just kind of seems like this guy can use water. This guy can use it. Like, just seems like just random stuff from people
So
so
I,
far.
I I I agree with what Destiny's saying, but I do think that because the English dub came out, I think you watched it, Tim. In the beginning, they do explain the pathways, and since they're
They
taking the
do.
time, yeah, in the English dub, and so if they do that for the English, I think that people will have a better understanding of the pathways because you're right, they do not do a good job of it. I couldn't tell you more than 4 pathways right now. So, like, you're 100% correct. It's kind of like, well, I just know he can see into the future to a certain extent, and this guy can make people see nightmares. But beyond that, like, it's almost like Nen to a certain extent. But it's like fucking too complicated for me to really break down for you, brother. I do
Because I don't
think
even
though.
remember the first episode.
No, no,
So,
no, no. And that's the thing. It's like they have the ability to kind of make this like Attack on Titans, but the problem is, and what I mean by that is like slowly peel the onion, but people are like they want too much too fast. I think that's the problem. It's like there's a lot of Donghua readers who are like, oh, they're doing this, that, and the third. And I only know this because I do videos on it weekly, and there's so many people like, they're not doing this right, they're not doing that right. So it's like it's gonna be hard for them to get the point across. You're because it's so heavy. And I think a lot of people agree with Destiny, where it's just like, well, he can do this, he can do that. What are pathways? Why do I care?
Yeah,
it has so many like obstacles. And I think when you make something like this, you don't really care. But I'm just saying, just objectively, because I would think as a creator, you know what you made when you made this. You don't give a fuck. This is who it's for and whatever. But just to speak just about why people might not be dealing with it, because I go through the same thing with Yaiba. I'm like, why aren't more people like on to Yaiba? And I just like with that, I know why. So with this, I know that the reason is one, it's not in English dub and it's in Chinese. Two, it's wordy as fuck. And three, it's like about things that are very deep. So it's a lot of
yeah,
like deep things all together. I used to say the same thing with Yaiba, like why aren't people on it? I'm like, well, it's because it's a remake, it's on Netflix, and it doesn't have an English dub. So those things right there are just gonna make it difficult for most because there's people who literally as soon as they see something, they're like, no. So I know there's a bunch of people. Shout out to Jay Riddle. He's the reason why I even started watching this show, because I saw him talking about like people not wanting to watch it because it's in Chinese, and I was
Mhm.
like, that's interesting. Now I want to go check it out. So
I
I know there's
think
people who
I
not
think
gonna watch
'cause
that.
I think when it comes to the language barrier thing, it's because they aren't used to hearing Chinese, so it throws them off. Even though they're doing the same thing that they're doing when they watch Anime Weekly, for the most part, they're reading subtitles. But then you put that on top of the flowing animation, right? It's not like most anime where they're talking and the scenes don't change that much while they're talking, right? There's usually like it might flash back and forth, but you're not going to miss something. With this, it really you really do have to turn on your Sharingan and be able to see both at the same exact time. So you'll miss a lot of stuff, and there's details in the like the commercial card when it comes back. Then it opens up the book like
Or
it
you gotta
actually
pause that.
explains
You
stuff.
gotta pause that for you to even
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah, like they
I'll
And
they
say
then
were.
that I hate
also,
that. I hate that the most. I don't like when
yeah,
they do that.
it's terrible.
And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I gotta fucking pause this to read this.
Yeah. And
This
it's
is
like it's
stupid.
information you need to know. Like they talked about the demoness sect in one of them in the next episode, and you're like, I probably needed to understand this because we're dealing with
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
this
kind
in
of
this
video
episode.
game cutscene shit is this? Like, I was like, what the? I'm sitting there watching it, and I was like, bro, I read like 2 words and it was gone. I was like, why? What the?
But I
yeah.
think Destiny, you make a really good point about it being wordy, and I think that this is for people who truly love anime as a medium, because a lot of people just watch anime to feel like relaxed, and that's why romance anime and slice of life anime has come to the forefront because it's something you can fucking throw on and just enjoy, take the ride. You don't have to think much. But Lord of the Mystery forces you to think, and some people aren't trying to watch a fucking cartoon that forces you to think. So I think that that's the one thing that's going against it. And it's funny because this guy is a fan of One Piece, and you can see the elements of the world building. But the difference between One Piece and this show is that One Piece started off as something that was easily digestible, and it grew into being this larger episode, not episodic, a journey of like fucking gigantic proportions. Whereas Lord of the Mysteries, you're literally like Klein thrown into a situation, and I'd be forgetting that that dude isn't Klein. Like he has to say, like, I'm not even Klein. And I'd be forgetting, it's like, oh, yo, you're right. You're like a Chinese guy that's in Klein's body. It's like
Mhm.
it's a kind of an isekai almost sometimes, where it's like, but
That's exactly what it is. The transmigration is like the Chinese version of an isekai. That's exactly what it is. It's pretty much when they say transmigration, it's pretty much the same thing as being
yeah, yeah,
isekai to another
reborn
world.
in a sense. But he doesn't
Yeah,
start off as a kid, thank God. Like you don't have to deal with that aspect. It's like at least he started off as an adult, and but it's got to be weird, dude, because imagine going into another world being like similar aged, but like this world has powers, and
and then
it's
finding out there's somebody else from your world that made it there, so it kind of starts tying into everything else that got built up. Now, I think it was at the end of episode 4, I believe, or maybe 3, where we see the creator god hanging down at the end of the episode. Was that the
that
creator god that we
was
saw?
yeah, but that was five, I think. No, where like
Did you see that already, Destiny?
I don't think he would have seen that because in
You said
episode
when the dude was like, wait, he tried to unalive himself.
Nah, it was after like I think it was after the mirror fight. They did the mirror fight, and then like the big like he turns around. It was at the very end of the episode, and you see like a upside down angel or something like that with
I
like
think that was
a
the
with
last episode. No,
was it?
what
I
what
might
was the
not
last
got
thing you saw in episode four, Destiny?
the last thing I saw in episode 4 is the dude that it seemed like something made him bite his fingers off, and then he was sitting there like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do better, and then he's
Yeah.
saying after Klein.
Okay,
So
yeah, it
it's
might
episode
it might be
five
the
is the next
phone.
one. Yeah, because that's the same dude who calls upon that god to do all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I literally like it's like literally right after Klein just beat the clown dude.
Yes, there was no
Okay,
divination club, right?
Divination Club.
Nope. If he doesn't remember it, then that's the episode
No,
you're talking about,
no.
Tim.
Okay. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, because
episode 5.
you just got done with the big fight that they
Mhm.
and
With
that's and so
the
after that moment, the
That went
series
on for fucking ever. I was like, bro, why are they still fighting this fucking thing? It just
bro.
kept going. I was like, yo,
it,
Wasn't the Joker right after that? Like the fool character was right after
yeah,
that. It's
bro. It
like,
was just the fight because it was first of all, I was watching it in dub, and then it switched, and then it was like, oh, this is not in dub. So I was like, okay, so now it's not in dub. Then it was like super loud. So I was like, bro, why is this episode so much louder? Not in dub. Like, I wanted the dub to be loud because I was trying to hear it, right?
yeah.
And then
mm.
I already had it at a certain volume, so then the next one was like super loud. So I'm like, all right, it's not gonna be that bad, right? Then they started fighting, and it got louder. So I'm like, all right, bro, this is like OD right now. So it's just like now it's super loud. I'm like, all right, the fight's not gonna last that long. I was fucking wrong. That shit went on.
It was like half the episode, I think.
Yeah, they was fighting for mad long. I'm like, bro, all right, they're gonna beat this dude eventually. And then the clown pops up. I was like, all right, let me turn the TV down. This is getting ridiculous.
The one thing I will say about these episodes is it feels like you're getting 30 minutes of stuff. Like it doesn't
Oh,
feel
they
like it's necessarily drawn out, but it feels like you're actually getting 30 minutes,
I
especially
still
in the
want more, bro. I still be feeling like it's solo leveling, bro. I'd be like, this is it. That's all I'm getting for the week.
I'm on the other side. I do not like fucking 30-minute episodes. It's too much. I like 20. Well, see, you're also watching it from week to week, and right now I'm like catching up, so I'm binging. And whenever I binge, I don't want for stuff to be over 20 minutes because I want to be like, all right,
I get
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
yeah,
I get that.
Feel
catch up quicker.
success. Like you feel it you start to feel defeated when it's like one episode takes too much out of you. So 20-minute episodes when you're binging, I automatically just caught on to because you said you do it weekly. So I'm catching like, all right, I think once I catch up, I won't have that same effect with it.
But you're right. To
Yeah.
if you have to sit there for 30 minutes, you don't even get a break. Like it's like nonstop action. And the fucking problem with that one show, I will give it the one drawback is there's too much frames. Like I never thought I would say it. But the aspect of it being 30K fucking frames an episode is too much because it's like I need to read sometimes. So you can't be just throwing all these beautiful colors and fights when I need to understand what I'm reading. Like it
Yeah.
is a contradictive thing where it's like it's so beautiful, but at the same time, it's like, do I understand what I'm watching? You
Yeah.
know,
Like the last episode, the episode that just happened, there was so much going on with the memory and
bruh.
everything that it was really hard to try and capture what was going on because it kept on bouncing between the past and the present, the past and the present, and then all of a sudden you got like something that wasn't even in that building. It was where they were at, which was a totally different location, and it started getting confusing to a few times. I did have to rewind it back. I do find myself having to keep on rewinding it to try and understand parts where I feel like it's giving you some pivotal information, something that you're actually going to have to know as the story progresses. But I feel like it's easier once you get past that big clown fight. I feel like it does slow down with the packing of everything. But
I
like you
think
said,
Destiny is going to enjoy it a little bit more going forward, just because they had to there was a contract with them and Tencent to get to that fight, and that's why they fucking rushed all that information. And 5 and 6, it's a little bit slower, even though the plot dumps are still there. You can kind of go along for the ride a little bit more, as opposed to fucking holding on for dear life like the Force 4 episodes were like, in
Oh,
my
I'm just
opinion.
glad. I'm glad that that uh that I like it.